1985 football season. Baumhauer's voted the best wings in Alabama, the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. They're featuring their fan favorites this fall that include the Ragin' Cajun Gooey Fries, Go Fish, the Gooey Char-Grilled Chicken Sandwich, and their scratch-made Cabo Wabo Tequila Margaritas. All you football fans, kick off your season in legendary fashion to make Baumhauer's Victory Grill your big game headquarters all season long. I think the Cabo Wabo Tequila Margarita got Patrick Murphy's attention. The head coach of Bama softball is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, let's hear it for Chris Stewart for announcing all of that. How did you do that?
It's the only skill I've got, Coach.
Golly,
reading.
That's awesome.
It was a good one. Great to see you. I know you're as excited about the start of football season as anybody. 2 reasons. 1, you love football. But 2, also the fact that means we're only a month away from the fall getting going, right? For
exactly,
your squad.
But I also love this coaching staff. I mean,
I know you do.
How can you not love Kalen DeBoer? Seriously, humble,
awesome.
No ego, friendly, just a great guy, knows his stuff. And you know, we had a staff meeting maybe January, February, and everybody in the athletic department was there. And I turned around and I said, "Hey, is Ryan Grubb here?" And somebody said, "Yeah, he was here. He's probably all the way or in his office already." So my assistant coach, Ryan I. Murray, literally ran to his office before he got going on his day. And I went in and I probably surprised him or scared him. And I said, "Hey, I just wanted to say hi. Welcome to Alabama." And we started talking. And believe it or not, he is from a smaller town in Iowa than I am.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I'm from Fayette, Iowa, population 964. And Coach Grubb is from Kingsley, Iowa, which is probably about 800.
Wow.
And one of his best friends in high school was the brother of one of my best friends at Northern Iowa. So very small world.
Yeah.
And if you're from Iowa, it's 6 degrees of separation. You're going to know somebody that knows you. And just a great guy, and we're really, really glad that he's here. I have a really good feeling about this team. The more I watch the press conferences and I watch the young men, and you know, when they named the captains, that was a great ceremony, you know, after practice one day.
Sure.
And I just feel like the leadership is there, what they're saying, how they're saying it. And, you know, as a coach, you watch that. Right. I watch it all fall. I watch soccer, I watch football, I watch cross country, volleyball, whoever plays in the fall. And I learn from them, and I just have this good feeling about togetherness. They collaborate well. I think it's going to be fun, and I can't wait for Saturday.
Tell me what you look for, what you identify early in a great team, whether it's yours or one like you are talking about with the football squad that you believe they'll be.
Well, number 1 is very little ego.
That helps.
Because if you have a group that is for the team, period, you're going to have a good year. Seriously. If you have, you know, different factions here and there, and a little bit somebody in the dugout over here and somebody over there and somebody over there, that's not going to work. And a football locker room is a lot bigger than a softball locker room. You know, there's 105 guys on the team. I have 21.
Right.
So they have a much bigger margin of error.
Right.
But just to hear them say the things that they were saying about team, the work ethic, I know the weight room gentlemen have been very pleased because I saw a couple of them at that same meeting, and they were like very excited about the work ethic of the guys. And then, you know, all summer long, they're working hard in the Alabama heat.
Yeah. And
to do it day after day after day to get ready, I'm very excited for them.
Iowa heat, Alabama heat. Okay.
Oh.
I was just checking.
Yeah. If you want to lose weight, just come to Alabama for about 3 weeks in the summer.
I was simply checking to make sure I had it right. All right, we're going to talk softball on the other side of this break. Coach Patrick Murphy with us as we continue from Baumhauer's Victory Grill on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, all you Crimson Tide fans. Here's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Earn your degree with flexible online classes and 24/7 tech support. Alabama volleyball is back. The Tide has their first set of home matches this weekend for the Crimson Tide Invitational. On Friday, the team will play UNC Asheville at 12:30, followed by a matchup with Jacksonville at 7. They will close out the back-to-school bash weekend on Saturday, playing UAB at 3 o'clock. Alabama soccer has a home match this Friday against Mercer. The match will start at 7, so be sure to bring the energy. Remember, entry is always free. It's almost time for Alabama football to return to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This weekend, the Tide opens the season this Saturday on the road in Tallahassee. Alabama and Florida State will square off at 2:30 on ABC in Joe Campbell Stadium. The first home game of the season will be Saturday, September 6th at 6:45 p.m. Be on the lookout for more game day details next week. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. And that's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online, with more than 100 degree and certificate programs. Earn your UA degree wherever you are on your schedule. Have a great week, everybody, and roll Tide!
And also legend in the making, where legends are made, the University of Alabama, but one definitely in the making, Audrey Vandergriff, outfielder. Coach, I'll let you do the intro of this young lady. I gave her name, but tell everybody here why you chose to bring this representative of your squad here tonight.
Well, I might have told this story before, but to those of you who don't know, when Audrey was an 8th grader, I was watching a tournament in Birmingham, and an hour away, so it was an easy trip. And there was a young lady that was up to bat. She was a left-handed hitter, and she hit a 2-hopper to the second baseman. And before you know it, she beat it out. It was a clean play, clean throw, the whole thing. She beat it out by half a step. And right then and there, I circled her name and said, 1. I put a 1 by her.
Sure.
And ever since then, we had gone to watch her. She's got pop. She hit major home runs against really good opponents this year. She stole 50 bases. Second-team All-American, first-team All-SEC, and played really, really good defense all year long. And I couldn't ask for anything better. She had a 4.0. There's nothing, she's a really, really great young lady and a great athlete.
Okay, you say something nice about him.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. You can if you want to, but that's got to be pretty flattering to hear your head coach give all those accolades to you, but you've earned them.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Well, whenever I was going through the recruiting process, you don't really know much about any program because you're not there yet. But one thing I did learn quickly and fast is everybody had the same thing to say about Murph, and that he's loving. He's a father figure to all the girls, and he'll set you up not only to be the best softball player, but to be the best, human being and woman who teaches you just life lessons, how to write thank you notes, just like the easy, South manners that you need to take onto your career. And so as soon as I met him, I knew I fell in love with the place and fell in love with the home.
So we learned about the little town in Iowa. Tell us about the little town in Georgia, Bogart.
Okay,
Where are you from?
So I'm from Bogart, Georgia. It's about 12, 15 minutes from Athens, Georgia, so I'm pretty familiar with the Georgia Bulldogs, to say the least.
Congratulations on the escape. We're
Yes,
glad we got
thank
you out
you.
of there.
Thank you, but I went to a small little Christian private school, graduated with about 76 kids in my class, and it was time to flourish somewhere else, so I chose Alabama.
And the transition obviously has gone pretty well, but let me ask you, because I had this conversation with other coaches in other sports. How much does it help seeing ladies from a smaller school, the fact you're able to see them in outside competition as well? Because when you're playing in a smaller school league, sometimes the competition may not be able to show whether that'll translate, but when you get them in other opportunities,
Right.
it shows.
Well, her senior year, they won state championship for the first time in a female team sport, which was softball.
Awesome.
So they did it, and they were heavily favored.
Right.
And there was a lot of pressure. But I went over to watch a first or second round, and couldn't talk to anybody because that was, you can't do that. But first at bat, first pitch of the game, she hits it 290 over the batting cages, and I was like, that was worth the trip over.
Sure.
I mean, completely. But like you said, when she plays summer ball, those are the girls that are going to the SEC schools, the Big Ten, the Big 12, the ACC, and those are the kids that she needs to shine against. And she did. And it's an easy selection, okay, because throughout her whole career. Plus, she played up, which means that she was a young player, but she was playing against 18-year-old young ladies that were going to college. So when she plays those older kids, even as a freshman or a sophomore, she did really well. So she passed all the tests against the competition.
We got more to talk about. Sit tight. We're back in a moment on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
But there is so much energy in this building.
The environment at Bryant Denny Stadium is the best in college football right now. They have figured it out.
This place is rocking right now at Bryant Denny. Alabama comes out a winner.
We're back here on Hey Coach from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. Great to have Bama softball coach Patrick Murphy with us, along with one of his standout players, outfielder Audrey Vandergriff. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Coach Kalen DeBoer will be joining us, and a little more than 40 minutes from now, his quarterback Ty Simpson will be checking in live here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill as well. I want to know about the offseason for you, Audrey. What's that like? You got to do some just family stuff in addition, I know, to the work that takes place to get ready for this upcoming season.
So first off season without travel ball, so it looked a little different. But as soon as the season was over, I kind of underwent a injury kind of throughout the season. So I did rehab for like a month and a half. I had a back injury pretty severe, and so I kind of took it easy, did some rehab, chiropractor work, all that jazz. And my sister got married,
Awesome.
So she's the first to get married. My brother will be this summer, but so that was super exciting. Pleasure to stand by her side. And then I slowly started getting back in the weight room, working out, hitting, all the necessities. And then I took a trip with my grandma to Italy for about 2
Fantastic.
weeks. So, yeah.
Awesome. So here's the thing. I've said it for years. He's the best teammate on the Alabama campus, talking about Coach Patrick Murphy. Any sport, doesn't matter. He's the best teammate on campus. That includes getting the heads up on where to eat on the road, whatever the sport is, wherever you're going. We always check with Burf on where to go. Did that happen for you with Italy? Was he the tour guide there as well?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I figured he might have
yes,
been.
He sure did.
I figured he might have been.
We were there 2 years earlier, so yes,
Yeah.
we gave her some tips, and Grandma was awesome too.
Awesome, yes.
All right, good deal. For you, Coach, when you have a student athlete, just like all of them, been playing almost constantly since they were little girls, where's the fine line of going, hey, you need to rest, you need to heal up, or, hey, we got work to do?
Well, like she said, she played high school ball in fall. Georgia high schools do.
Right.
Then they play all the way till November 1st. Okay. And then about a month off. Then they start their summer ball.
Yeah.
December, January. They play February, March, April. She graduates from high school. She plays summer ball June, July, a little bit of August, and then she comes to Alabama to play her freshman year. And she has done that since she was probably 9 years old.
Right.
And it's constant. And that's why I love, and she ran track, so God bless her for that, because she
Right.
got away a little bit. But I love a young lady that plays two sports, a multi-sport athlete that can get away from throwing, hitting, pitching, whatever it might be, and play basketball, play volleyball, play soccer, run track. Get away from it for just a little bit, let your body heal, try another sport, and then I think also that makes her want to go back to softball even more, and she'll miss it a little bit. So when she gets here, the sky's the limit for people like her. When she just concentrates on one sport, she has a strength coach for softball, Michelle Diltz. She has an athletic trainer for softball, Will Warwick. She has a nutritionist for softball, Casey McAlpine, and on and on and on. So then you really, really see the benefits of an athlete like Audrey.
Speaking of getting joy to see the benefits, how about coaching a young lady throughout her collegiate career and then get a chance to see her win a pro softball championship on the home field? Awesome opportunity for Montana Fouts as her squad won the inaugural AUSL championship at Rhodes Stadium. Really cool.
Unbelievable to have. First, they chose us,
Right.
and then thankfully we have a great athletic department that, we talked about it a lot, and my boss, Dr. Karen Lee, Greg Byrne, they had to say yes.
Absolutely.
And then to have, it was a regular season series of 2 games and then a best 2 out of 3. So they came to Tuscaloosa. Montana's team was here for a week. So tax dollars, hotel,
Sure.
restaurants, gas, a lot of coffee shops.
Absolutely.
Because that's all they,
I'm sure.
iced coffee all summer long. And then the fans. And, the very first day, it was the championship series was based on TV. And I suggested 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And, of course, it was 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
In the middle of July, Alabama
Yeah.
Heat, which we've already talked about, sold out. 4,400 people. Unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was just unreal to see. And then there was a lot of the young ladies on both teams that had never been to Alabama to play softball.
Right.
There were several UCLA girls on both teams that this was their first time to Tuscaloosa, first time to play at the Rhodes House, and they were impressed. Believe me, they were. It was really, really neat to hear their feedback of the fans, the stadium, the city. They love Tuscaloosa. And it's a college town, and in the summer, sometimes it can get a little slow, but they loved being downtown Tuscaloosa. It was really neat to hear the reviews.
Awesome to hear that. Not at all surprised, and awesome to think that your team's going to be in action again here pretty soon with fall getting started up.
Yeah, October 10th, October 11th. We play October 17th, I believe it is. It's a Sunday after Tennessee.
Very
and
good.
then the next weekend when football is off, we're at home on that Saturday and Sunday. So we play a total of like 88 innings in the fall, and I think it's over 5 dates. So we'll play some teams for 10 innings, and then we'll play a doubleheader against somebody else. But October 10th, it's a Friday night. against West Alabama is the first opportunity. And then the next day, we actually play both Mississippi State and Memphis. And for us, it's a benefit to play a Division I in the fall because we usually don't get to.
Right.
And we're really going to look forward to that because we have 8 newcomers, 6 freshmen, 2 transfers. And we've been running and lifting and had a couple days of individuals, but so far so good.
Can't wait to get started. Coach, appreciate your time. The same with you, Audrey. Really appreciate you both, as always.
Appreciate what you do. Seriously, you're the best.
Thank you, man. Take care.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll
Coach
Tide.
Patrick Murphy and outfielder Audrey Vandergriff from Bama Softball joining us. Get game ready at Alumni Hall. It's your ultimate Crimson Tide shopping experience. Top brands, hats, accessories, all your tailgating gear. Head to Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa or shop online, alumnihall.com. $10 in rewards for every $150 that you spend. Roll Tide and shop Alumni Hall. We're back to Bomb Hours in a moment on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Thank you so much, Montana. You're my biggest inspiration. You're the reason that I started playing softball.
Hey Montana, I'm really inspired by you because you made this quote be the blessing, and that just inspires me a whole lot.
When I think of Montana, I think of her presence on the field and her voice.
When I think of Montana, I think of her grit and her love for the game.
Montana Fouts is a huge inspiration to me, and every time I play the game of softball, I take her with me.
Montana is such just a great idol. Thank you so much for inspiring me to be a pitcher. Montana Fouts is the reason I fell in love with softball.
Montana inspires me because she loves Jesus.
When I was in 2nd grade, I wrote a biography about you and gave it to you. I love you.
Hey, Montana, thank you so much for what you do for our game, and you're such an amazing pitcher. Love you.
Hi, I love you, Montana. Montana Fouts, you're my favorite softball player.
To me, Montana Fouts is an inspiration to all young pitchers.
Yeah, we love you. We love you.
Welcome home, Montana.
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 Welcome home, Montana Fouts.
Welcome home, Montana. We love you.
Hottest hitter this year for Alabama awaits on deck in Audrey Vandergriff. Vandergriff into left field, headed towards the wall. It's gone! Walk-off in the 8th, and Bama takes the series from Oklahoma.
You counted Alabama out this year? Seriously? Have you not learned?
Before I stepped in the box, I just gave everything to God. I just said, God, I give this moment to you, Lord. And he gave it to me. He delivered for me, and I couldn't have done that without him.
all you Crimson Tide fans. Here's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Earn your degree with flexible online classes and 24/7 tech support. Alabama volleyball is back. The Tide has their first set of home matches this weekend for the Crimson Tide Invitational. On Friday, the team will play UNC Asheville at 12:30, followed by a matchup with Jacksonville at 7. They'll close out the back-to-school bash weekend on Saturday, playing UAB at 3 o'clock. Alabama soccer has a home match this Friday against Mercer. The match will start at 7, so be sure to bring the energy. Remember, entry is always free. It's almost time for Alabama football to return to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This weekend, the Tide opens the season this Saturday on the road in Tallahassee. Alabama and Florida State will square off at 2:30 on ABC in Doak Campbell Stadium. The first home game of the season will be Saturday, September 6th at 6:45 p.m. Be on the lookout for more game day details next week. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide Sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. And that's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online, with more than 100 degree and certificate programs. Earn your UA degree wherever you are on your schedule. Have a great week, everybody, and roll Tide!
Welcome, everybody, to the first installment of the 2025 college football season of the Kalen DeBoer Show, presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Coach, good to see you again. And hallelujah, we're finally at game week. How excited are you to finally be at this point?
It's finally here. It's finally here. Good to see all of you. So, yeah, this kicks it off, huh? We've been waiting for a long time. I know our guys, they've been really focused, and, you know, I think there's something different about game week, and so they can feel it. And it's been a good week of practice. Guys got great energy, and a couple more days, and we'll be on our way.
We'll ask the question everybody's asking. How healthy? You talked about it, I know, yesterday a little bit, but everybody's going to get beat up, banged up when you go through camp a little bit, but thankfully you got a lot of other guys that are healthy, ready to go. Overall, what's the feeling there going in?
Yeah, I think overall it's been a pretty clean camp. The last couple weeks, few guys, I mean, everyone knows about Jam, and then TK got dinged up here a couple days ago or yesterday, and so just, you know, that's unfortunate, and you feel, from my standpoint, upperclassmen who have poured so much into it and really have helped us build the culture, and it's going to continue to build. It's never there, right? And you got to continue to have care for it. But you know, those guys are two guys that are critical to how we've gotten to where we're at right now, and why we feel you know, we got a good team that you know, is ready to go do some things. But new guys will have to step up, and that's easier said than done. You know, but that's what they get ready for, and TK and you know, Jam will be right there trying to help them along the way.
All right, so practice this week, when it is game week, it's a little different. I'm sure you're glad that your guys get to hit somebody else, and they are as well, because it can be tough. I mean, it can get a little chippy at times, I would imagine. Everybody does at certain moments, but they're just ready to see somebody else.
Yeah, I think you get to probably about practice 12, and then the heat picked up, and you know, it's a little warmer. It does get chippy, but that's what you want. You want to have a team that's got an edge, and you know, you want to try to create this adversity, because it's hard to simulate what you're going to get when it comes to adversity in a game, and so any of those type of things that can happen, and you kind of figure out who you have, and you know, who your guys are that keep a level head, and who you got to keep working on, and so it's been a great camp that way. But yeah, it's definitely time to hit someone else.
You got to get your guys ready, but you also got to help them prepare for who they're going to face. And I would imagine it's even more of a challenge to do so when the team you're facing looks a whole lot different in terms of their on-the-field personnel, but also coaching-wise, some changes as well.
Yeah, well, Coach Norvell, you know, he's going on his 6th year there at Florida State. You know, done an excellent job, not just there, but other places he's been. Offensive-minded guy, but, you know, this year bringing in 2 new coordinators, one on offense and defense. Special teams coordinator continues to be the consistent one that they've had the entire time Coach Norvell's been there. So, you know, Coach Malzahn and Coach White, certainly aware of who they are. I've competed against Coach White more than Coach Malzahn, but a number of guys on our staff have. And so you kind of know what you're going to get from based on their history. But, you know, new personnel, a lot of transfers into Florida State. I think there's, I don't even know the number. I think there's 24 or 25 just in there too deep, just without, or maybe more than that, a couple more than that. But it's just a lot of new faces, and you're trying to plug and play and figure out what that's going to look like. We're looking at other film of other teams where the coordinators have been over the last few years. And so in the end, you got to keep it about us. You got to give them a good plan, our guys a good plan, a good starting point. But we're certainly going to have to be ready to adjust, evolve throughout the course of the game. There's going to be some wrinkles that we haven't seen, things that, you know, they're going to do that they've been working on. And so that's kind of the piece with week one, you know, no matter who you're playing, but especially these guys this year.
You're opening on the road. What type of unique challenges are there to playing away from home when you're opening up like that?
Yeah, I mean, your first year, you know, you're just focused on execution, right? Whether you're home or away, you want to execute. But now, when you're having to execute, and offensively, you're worried about, you know, the snap count and hearing the snap count and all of that. So now the noise factor, and it's going to be, you know, I've never played there, but a great environment. And so we've worked a lot on that the last couple of weeks, and that's one piece of it. And then just, you know, everything that comes along with momentum and home field advantage. And so, you know, it's going to be a great test for our guys. You know, we looking forward to the challenge. This is a group of guys that isn't going to back down from anything. You know, we got to see where we're at here, so I'm excited.
Anything different? I mean, when you're the head coach, you got to think of everything I know, and that includes being part-time meteorologist. You got to keep an eye on it and all that stuff. We expect it to be hot in Florida all the time, but especially this time of year. Pretty good chance of rain, though. Anything special you do to prep for that?
Yeah, you can ask the offensive skill guys in particular what that looks like. So wet balls that are wet with soap on them, anything to make it as slippery as possible so they got to really focus and try to give them the worst case scenario of what it could be. But you know, that's part of what we're doing and getting ready, because that's certainly a possibility.
How they handle it?
Yeah, it's definitely has an impact, right? I don't care. You know, if you're going to really do it and do it right in practice, sometimes it can not go quite as well as you want.
We're going to talk to the guy you've named as your starting quarterback in just a little while. Everybody knows by now that Ty is the guy that has been named the starter for the opener. But overall, it seems like you're really pleased with how the quarterback position has gotten themselves ready for the start of this season. And I know that begins with Ty, but it's not exclusive to Ty, is it?
Yeah, it's a special room full of guys. First of all, men that are just, you know, great people, and then just great players too. And it was great seeing these guys go about it and just test each other and push each other, but do it in a healthy way. And that's really hard to do. And I think there's a lot that goes into it. First of all, with them, but also, you know, I'll take Ryan Grubb and Nick Sheridan working together in that quarterback room, and, you know, finding the ways to just, you know, mesh it all together, and the personalities, and, you know, being able to coach guys hard, coach guys, you know, keep pushing them, and it not be something where, you know, one guy looks and feels like someone's getting, you know, treated differently and all that. We're past that, way past that. These guys are as supportive of each other as any quarterback room I've ever seen from top to bottom. And that's what's really cool. And they have a genuine respect for each other, and, you know, only want the best out of each guy. And I think most people would say that. That's truly what the case is here with these guys.
I've been asked this question, and you're the one to answer it, but I've been asked by a lot of people about what – obviously, Nick Sheridan was your OC last year. Ryan Grubb comes in and takes that title or the responsibility. Explain to our audience what the responsibilities are, what that looks like And if you could, brag on them a little bit about how incredibly well they have worked together, given that they had worked together before, knew each other before, and a lot of places this could be an uncomfortable situation, but it doesn't seem as though that's the case at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to brag on these two guys. And first of all, who they are, what type of coaches they are, it's just on their own, right? And the knowledge that they have, the way they just always want to continue to get better. There's a reason why they're on the staff. There's a reason why over many years with Coach Grubb and then also with Nick Sheridan, go back to 2019, why I was so impressed with him and what he's done for me, whether it was then or the last now going on 4 years at Washington and here. So, I'm going to tell you, our quarterback room is getting coached better than any other quarterback room in the country. I'm just telling you that's how it is. And not too much, but what they need to know. The reps, the individual work that these guys need to have, and because every guy's at a different spot with their skill sets, that those attention to details are taken care of. These guys are challenged, but they talk about the character of the quarterbacks. This unique situation with Ryan Grubb coming back. It's such a unique because of our time together, but now you put him with Nick, and you got an all-star crew, and they're in the room, and Ryan Grubb is the coordinator, going to call plays, and oversees all of it, and is kind of the one really in his mind, seeing the direction it goes. But I can tell you, there's a number of guys, and Grubb does a great job of going to different guys to ask questions, and it's O-line related, and he feels good about his knowledge of the O-line, but he's going to talk to Coach Cap. But when it comes to quarterback play, and and even the offense in general, Nick's right there with great answers, great hypotheticals, the what ifs, all those devil advocate type things that you need to have, and someone who is doing it in a non-threatening way.
When we come back, more with the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Kalen DeBoer, 15 minutes away from having his starting quarterback for Saturday. Ty Simpson joining us here on site as well. We're at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Hey, Coach, and the Kalen DeBoer Show continues right after this on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
But there is so much energy in this building.
The environment at Bryant-Denny Stadium is the best in college football right now. They have figured it out.
This place is rocking right now at Bryant-Denny. Alabama comes out a winner.
Hey, all you Crimson Tide fans. Here's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Earn your degree with flexible online classes and 24/7 tech support. Alabama volleyball is back. The Tide has their first set of home matches this weekend for the Crimson Tide Invitational. On Friday, the team will play UNC Asheville at 12:30, followed by a matchup with Jacksonville at 7. They will close out the back-to-school bash weekend on Saturday, playing UAB at 3 o'clock. Alabama soccer has a home match this Friday against Mercer. The match will start at 7, so be sure to bring the energy. Remember, entry is always free. It's almost time for Alabama football to return to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This weekend, the Tide opens the season this Saturday on the road in Tallahassee. Alabama and Florida State will square off at 2:30 on ABC in Doak Campbell Stadium. The first home game of the season will be Saturday, September 6th at 6:45 p.m. Be on the lookout for more game day details next week. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. And that's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online, with more than 100 degree and certificate programs. Earn your UA degree wherever you are on your schedule. Have a great week, everybody, and roll Tide!
Hey, Coach, and the Kalen DeBoer Show are presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all and online at alfainsurance.com. Welcome back, everybody. Great to have you with us here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill as we continue on with the Kalen DeBoer Show, the head coach of the Crimson Tide, joining us here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill, the first in-person visit of the season that we get for coaches. We're getting ready to go on the road. The Tide taking on the Florida State Seminoles in Tallahassee this weekend. We're going to keep the tradition alive for another week, Coach. The first question brought to us by Alabama 811. Tonight's first question from Alabama 811, which reminds you to help prevent injuries, outages, and loss of life. Call 811 or visit al811.com. Before you dig, it's free, it's simple, it's the law, it's the first call, so it must be Pee-wee down in Grand Bay. Pee-wee, start us off right.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing, sir?
I am good. Good to hear from you, Pee-wee.
Blue was on there with Chris, and he made a thing about at the end of January that in the players' meeting that they all got asked to do certain things, goals for over the summer and all of that. So, number one, I wanted to know how that as a team, how did all those goals progress and how much progress did they make on that? And then the second part of it was which position group has taken the biggest strides since the end of spring camp to this point in time?
The first question with the goals, are you talking about the meetings we had in January or the ones at the end of the spring going into the summer?
The ones at the end of January.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think a lot of the meetings that we had probably in December were the big ones that led into that, to making sure we had the right guys, in the room that wanted to be there. The portal was open all through the month of December. It's open for 5 more days after you have the bowl game. You start the semester, and you get back to work. But, just making sure you got the right people with you. I don't care where it's at, but especially when you're talking about a football team and you're trying to shape, what you want it to look like. Those individual meetings and those times in December, as hard as they were, it has made things better and easier for us moving forward as we lay out the roles. Guys understand, the development and the expectations, that they can have and that we need them to have. And so I think that really allows us to be on the same page from January all the way to where we're at right now. So, yeah, those meetings are super critical, whether it be individually and then obviously as a team. And we have a structure, especially once we get off the road as a coaching staff in January, all the way through, February and spring ball, where there are certain topics. Every single team meeting, there's multiple each week where we hit on things. And I just think really got the guys were all in on that. So I think as far as the second question with the position group, there's been so much about the defensive backfield, understandably so, and definitely they've are a group that we're excited about. I think especially relative to a year ago where there was just so many what ifs, and we've really the second half of the year, even in the middle of going through some injuries that maybe didn't keep guys from playing, but were rough in the week of practices. We really have now got a group that's solid there. I think, I'm really anxious to see, excited to see the offensive line. There's expectations that come with guys who have more experience, and that group is one of the more experienced, especially when you look at them and what they can do together and how many snaps they've played. They need to take the next steps. They got to prove it. I think they look at it that way themselves, that they haven't done anything. I hear that. And so, that's what you love, is that they're hungry. But I think that group has been very consistent. And, their growth and they just continue on. Their ceiling, I think, is high. And, they got to play some games now to really be challenged and, continue on that growth and what we're hoping for.
Coach, we've got our first question from the audience, and we'll be taking those throughout the course of the evening here at Baumhauer's. But a young man who's been waiting patiently down front has got a question. Tell Coach your name and go ahead and give him your question, buddy. Hang on 1 second, bud. We're going to get your mic up.
I already know what he's asking. So he wants to know about 2032. We got a class of 2032 right here. Brady, right? That's my man Brady. So I just met him in the intermission. So Brady, I'm sure we're going to come across each other down the road. So I already got you slotted in what positions. You already told me, so got it right here.
Let's hear it. Let us hear it from him, Coach, if we can. What positions? We got his mic working now. And what positions you playing?
Quarterback and inside linebacker.
That's right.
That's a unique combination.
It drew my attention right away. He
wants involved every play, is what he's telling you.
Yeah, it sounds like a Bray Hubbard type guy right there, doesn't it?
Very much so. Very much so. Thank you, buddy. It's good to see you. Look, is that not that you haven't had interest from young people at programs you've been around the country? I mean, some of the names of babies in the state of Alabama. Coach, you do understand you're only one national championship victory away from having kids named Kalen in this state. It happens. I've seen it.
Oh, man. And it's really cool. You know, I remember being on my first trip over to Georgia, and you think you're not that far away. You know you're pretty close, but running into, Paul's, obviously Bryant's,
a lot of those.
And I know there's Nick's out there too, so it's really cool, and that's, for obvious reasons.
Lots of Crimsons, lots of Tides. We got it all, Coach. We got it all. The first question from AL.com, the Alabama football Facebook page at AL.com is from Trina down in Atmore, Alabama. Hey, Coach, can you comment on the value of having a veteran center in Parker Brailsford, a player who is experienced with Coach Grubb's offense? And also, Trina says we're excited about the upcoming season in Roll Tide.
Was it specific about Parker?
He's just wanting you to talk about the value of having a veteran like that, who also has experience working with Ryan Grubb.
Yeah, this is our fourth year really with him. He redshirted there at Washington, but and then him being voted a team captain, I think it says so much about what Parker is, not just as a football player, but who he is as a person. Just the work he puts in, it makes me super proud, because this is someone that, has been super loyal in every way possible, and done it in a first-class way. Smile on his face, but man, you get him inside those white lines. It's on, and it's a fist fight for him, and he leads the charge there for that offensive line, and those guys and our entire team. When I say our entire team and the respect they have for him, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, as far as just how important that is, it's critical. You're getting everything started right, and your points and who you're identifying as your linebackers, and where your protections are going to. All of that is really big, and that's important for Ty and your quarterback to know, but it really starts with your center.
You mentioned Parker's a captain, Ty a captain, but that's also right. Talk about your others, who you've got.
Yep, you bet. Deontay Lawson, a captain for the second year here, and then Tim Keenan. So those are our four.
You mentioned it early, but in our visit about a half hour ago, Tim's out. Talk about who's next. What does next look like on the D-line?
Yeah, and those guys, there's a group of guys, James Smith, Jeremiah Beeman, guys that have gotten a lot of reps, Edric Hill. So, there's a lot of guys that will just, be asked to take more snaps, more reps. There's some young guys that, going to get thrown into the fire a little quicker than probably what we originally thought. But, again, I don't want to you always want to have the next man up mentality.
Right.
And our guys have that, and they're ready to go. But I also don't want to diminish just, how important, because I think you're selling short a guy like Tim Keenan and what he means to us.
No doubt.
And so, we know that our guys will get out there and they'll fight, and they know how to play the game. But, I just probably feel more bad for Tim and Jam than anything,
Right.
you know, just because they work so hard for it.
Had a chance to sit at a table with Jam the other day at an event you had with Yay, Alabama. It had met him before, been around, but that's the longest direct interaction. And Coach, every table that people were talking to me, they were saying the same things about your young men. Sorry to say your kids, but your young men. And just how special they are. But Jam, and I've been around Tim several times as well, they're just great people. Mm-hmm. To me, one of the things that's been so great with this day and age of NIL is the fact that there is more access to players, and people get to understand who they truly are. That's one of the real upsides, I think. I know a lot of people are old school. I understand that. But we get to realize just how great your young people are.
Yeah, I think, you say NIL, but I also think the social media piece, there's just nowhere, and just today's day and age of cameras being everywhere,
right.
there is nowhere to hide. And if you have those flaws or, your true colors are going to come out some form or fashion, in a moment, and for our guys, there's a lot of really good moments, and, I'm proud of them. They just carry themselves in a first-class way. They represent our university, our football program, as good as I could ever imagine. And so Jam, all these captains and so many more guys, at an event like that, there's no doubt in my mind that when we show up, they're going to do a great job.
Station's just a little bit early down the line on the network. We're going to pause 10 seconds right now for station identification. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. When we come back to Baumhauer's Victory Grill, more of Coach Kalen DeBoer. Take Coach Knight here from Baumhauer's Victory Grill on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Looking, Milroe firing left side, has a man open. It is caught. It is a touchdown, Alabama. Germie Bernard.
My name is Germie Bernard. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I went to Liberty High School. I play wide receiver. It kind of just came naturally as I started going in my development of football. I was always playing like running back and safety growing up. And then as I got older, I started to switch, like 8th grade, I started to switch to like receiver and DB. And then when I got to high school, it was just really straight receiver. And I just kind of started perfecting my craft with that because, who doesn't like scoring touchdowns and getting the crowd lit?
To the edge, does 5-4, 3-2-1, touchdown, Alabama.
This is the pinnacle of football, right? And, I never, ever thought I would be here at Alabama. Like, I never was recruited by them. I shut down my recruitment my sophomore year of high school, and I was committed to Washington. But Coach DeBoer got the job here, and then Coach Shep came, and when they did make that decision, they said they wanted me to come. Of course, I wasn't going to hesitate. Like, who doesn't want to come and practice against the best, play against elite competition? And, it's Alabama. Like, the spotlight is always on them. So, if you go out there and do what you're supposed to do, it's kind of hard for you not to make it.
Downfield's got a man. Bernard, catch made. Touchdown, Alabama. 30.
Yeah, so just going into my second year here at Alabama, the fans have been really great to me. They surprisingly know who I am outside of football and know me, as a person. And I feel like they watch the interviews and stuff that I do and, talk about just the character that I am outside of football. And I'm just really thankful to, have a support system like you guys. And, I'm really excited for this season and to make you guys proud. So, roll Tide.
This segment of our show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola, that's a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Sounds like a good idea as we continue on from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. It's Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. Another week of our program, but the first of the 2025 season with the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He is making his way back up to the stage as we speak. Will be joining us here as we've got another packed house here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. And, Coach, we're going to get you to slide over as making his way into the room. The starting quarterback for your football team has just got here in Ty Simpson. He's going to join us up on stage as well, Coach, as you continue to join us. And QB1.
He's an athlete.
He's an athlete. He can make his way up. We'll hand him the headset. He came in not wheels hot because there's a lot of law enforcement people here. He was observing the speed limit as he came in. Ty, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, good to see y'all. Thank you for having me.
Congratulations first and foremost. I know it's got to be special for you to have the distinction of being the starting quarterback on day one for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, no, it's a dream come true. I appreciate Coach DeBoer giving me confidence and giving me the nod. It's everything I ever dreamed about. 4 years being here. I love this university, love my teammates, love the town, and I'm very excited for the opportunity.
So when you're told, you're taking the reps first, but when you're told you're the starter for Florida State, what was your reaction?
I kind of just started grinning, like I was just like, man, it really happened. I always dreamed about the day. I never knew how it was going to happen, what was going to be said. But it was in the meetings, and Coach Grubb, Coach DeBoer was there, Coach Sheridan, and they just were talking about, hey, we're gonna name Ty the starter. He handled the ball and took command of the offense. And I just thought about, everything that I've been throughout the years or whatever, and I couldn't thank my teammates and my coaches enough for, just making me a better player and giving me this opportunity.
Coach, is that one of the more difficult aspects of your job and your role? Because everybody wants to start, not everybody can. But you also have to keep those guys locked in every position, not just quarterback, that, hey, there's a really good chance your time is going to come very, very soon. Heck, you don't know. It could come for guys before game one that they find out for whatever reason that they're in that slot. So how do you deal with that as a head coach?
Yeah, you just got to do what's best for your team. That's what it always comes down to. You got to do it best for your team. And, you want to certainly handle the right way because you have so much respect for the guys and the work that they're putting in, and especially, like I said earlier, this group that is just high level, high character, support each other. You want to keep that camaraderie tight, and so you want to be really careful and being articulate, making sure everyone's on the same page on where we're at, why we are going the direction we're going, so that way everyone can walk out of the room and go back to work.
Ty, what's changed for you since learning that you'd be the starter?
That's a great question, actually.
Well, I got to give Alex the credit. Alex
He's
Thompson
got more reps with the ones.
Yeah, no doubt. I think a little bit is the way that I lead. I've always saw myself as a leader on the team, just because of the position that I play and how I carry myself. But I think that, being the guy and being the guy who's going to walk out there Saturday and take the first team's reps, right? Like, I got to get my offense going and even, give my defense energy to know, like, hey, when y'all get a stop on fourth down, like, we're going to go down and score. So I think that I've learned to be more vocal, learned to get my guys going a little bit more. But my process hadn't really changed. I've always prepared like I was going to start. Of course, I've had my learning experiences, with South Florida and other games like that. But I've always prepared and always saw myself as a guy who, if needed to go in the game and try to win. So I always, my process has been the same. Just taking first team reps now.
All right, last question for me, I promise, about being the starter and the newness of all of that. Tell me about the phone call to your dad.
So it was a text first, right? I texted him after the meeting or whatever because we had to go do some stuff after that. And so I called my mom and dad later that night. And it was really cool because, for people who don't know, my dad's a coach at the University of Tennessee Martin, head football coach. And he is like my best friend, right? So he knows just, how hard I've worked, everything I've gone through, him and my mom both, and you don't get a lot of good jobs a lot, you know what I mean? You'll get some every now and then, but hearing that firm, man, I'm really, really proud of you. You know, you've worked hard for this. You know, not only am I proud of you because of, you know, the football player that you are, but the man that you've become and going through all this. And that really kind of broke me down, got me a little emotional because I was like, man, that's awesome. So it was cool, and you know, I got to talk to my little brother, my sister that night. So yeah, it was a great phone call.
Not only starting quarterback, team captain as well. That probably means as much to you as anything, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think honestly it probably means more to me, to be honest with you. Just the fact that one, my teammates voted on me to be a captain, and then two, right, I'm going to be engraved in Denny Chimes, you know what I mean? Like, my footprint is going to be next to, you know, three of my teammates and best friends, Parker Brailsford, Deontay Lawson, and Tim Keenan. Like, I'll always be remembered as a, you know, Alabama Crimson Tide, you know, football captain, and so that means a lot to me.
Coach, I know you understand the tradition. In fact, your first spring, when Coach Saban honored his captains for the final time, you were there and you took in that captain ceremony. And I'll never forget, you spent some time kind of lingering there and checking out the whole thing to learn about the tradition itself, and you learned how special it is at the University of Alabama. But talk about your process of selecting captains for your football teams.
Yeah, I mean, I just let the team choose who they are, and I challenge them to always think about who do you really want in the critical moments. Who do you really trust and believe cares first and foremost about us, you know? And I know I kind of preface it that way, so that way they really think about, you know, it doesn't become some popularity contest or something like that, you know. It's got to be, who do you really want to go to battle with, and who do you trust?
So tell us about the FSU defense. What have you seen about Florida State? I know there's a lot of new faces, but in terms of prep, what are you anticipating from them?
Yeah, you know, they're a great defense. They got a lot of new guys. You know, a familiar guy that I know is a guy who actually played here, Earl Little, who's a good player for them. He's going to represent their defense well. But you know, they're going to play hard. They got a lot of physical guys up front. You know, a lot of fast twitch guys on the outside. So you know, we just need to make sure to keep the main thing. Understand that, like, hey, you know, this is a task on hand. Do our job. Keep everything simple, because you know it's going to be the first game, right? A lot of new faces. You know, new coordinator. So there's going to be a lot of adjustments having to be made. But we can't panic in that. You know, just because they don't come out the way that we think they're going to come out doesn't mean anything. We're just going to go in, you know, execute, make sure that we keep everything simple. And just because, you know, something happens, we don't need to panic and just, you know, go play our game.
Coach, I asked you earlier about preparing for FSU, but also given the same things that Ty just addressed. A lot of new faces, a lot of new looks. But in terms of absorbing that information that you have and then to pass that on to your players, how unique is that challenge when the uniform's the same but the guys wearing them are very different?
Yeah, you're trying to keep it simple, talk about the structure of what they're going to see first and foremost, and try to give them maybe the headliners of what they need to be ready for, certain numbers, jersey numbers, you know, and you know, you got to make sure you don't get caught up in watching the structure of a defense of some other personnel. You know, and thinking you got to beat that person because that person isn't the body type. It may not be the skill set of what you're going to face. And so that's the trickiest part, is just keeping the guys focused on, you know, really the couple simple things you're trying to get them to understand in what we're going to see, and, you know, how our checks and how our things that we're going to do are going to attack what they do.
Ty, tell me something. Tell Bama fans something that they probably don't know about you that you want to share. I'm sure there's things they don't know about you and you want to keep it that way. But give us something that they don't know about you that you do want to share with them.
Oh, man. Let's see. So off the field, here's something.
Okay.
So off the field, right, you know, most guys like to go play golf or whatever. You know, I like to play golf. You know, maybe not as good as Coach DeBoer. You know, I like to hunt and fish. But what I really, really enjoy, there's two things, is grilling and doing Legos. And let me tell you why. So
not grilling Legos.
No.
Okay,
not
making
grilling
sure.
Legos.
Just make sure I had it right.
So, you know, grilling, right? First off, you save a bunch of money. You know, go buy meat for from Mark's Mark. They're in Northport. Shout out to those guys. They're awesome. And then, I invite all the guys over. So, Parker Brels for the whole line. Some of the defense, those type of guys, they've all been over. So I've grilled for them. You kind of, you feel like a king almost. So
Very nice.
I got a Traeger pellet grill. So I'll fire that thing up and I whip it up now. So don't get it twisted. But Legos, I really really enjoy doing Legos. And one, it keeps me just occupied doing something. And it's like a big puzzle. And so I have about 20 sets in my house, just from different type of things that I like. So whether it's 1, Star Wars, 2, Avengers. I went to New York recently, did like a New York sculpture type thing. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I do a little bit.
I'm having flashbacks because you're 21.
Yeah,
21. I got a 20-year-old son over here. He's a student in Alabama as well. He's Fortnite now, but he was Legos forever. Forever we had Legos. I can't tell you how many nights I said things that I'm not proud of because I stepped on one.
Oh,
those are not good, but still Legos. I love it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've spent many nights up. So yeah,
good deal, Coach. Let's go to the second AL.com question. It's from, again, the AL.com Alabama football Facebook page. It's from Jacob in Mableton, Georgia, with a number of new starters on your special teams units. Jacob says he's curious how you simulate the pressure of game day kicking during your practices.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's one of the harder things because you can't simulate the real pressure. You can do 2-minute drill and things like that. We just did another one today. Actually simulated that very moment, clock ticking down and it's hitting zeros as the kick's being kicked. But, you can't simulate 100,000 people in Bryant-Denny, and we practice in the practice fields. And so that transition back and forth, I know that some guys, every stadium is a little different. And so, you just got to trust and they got to understand that 35 yards is 35 yards no matter where we go, and we don't talk about the wind. We don't talk about the rain they might see. No, we do. But you just try to keep it simple. And our guys have done a nice job. There's going to be ups and downs. And I think our guys have done a nice job getting to the point where right now, they're at their optimal performance, based on everything that they've done.
You've had a chance to meet Gene Stallings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you have a chance? Mm-hmm. Every time I hear a question for a coach as it relates to kickers, I think of Coach Stallings telling the story of standing by a young kicker one day on the practice field with a stopwatch, and the kid misses 2 or 3 in a row, and the kid looks at him and says, "Coach, it makes me nervous when you're standing here watching me." And Coach Stallings says, "Well, son, I got bad news. I plan on being at every football game, so you might want to make a kick with me watching you." So
there's a lot more people at that football game, too.
A lot more people at that football game. Yeah. A whole lot more indeed. We're coming back. Ty Simpson and Coach Kalen DeBoer here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
All you Crimson Tide fans, here's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Earn your degree with flexible online classes and 24/7 tech support. Alabama volleyball is back. The Tide has their first set of home matches this weekend for the Crimson Tide Invitational. On Friday, the team will play UNC Asheville at 12:30, followed by a matchup with Jacksonville at 7. They'll close out the back-to-school bash weekend on Saturday, playing UAB at 3 o'clock. Alabama soccer has a home match this Friday against Mercer. The match will start at 7, so be sure to bring the energy. Remember, entry is always free. It's almost time for Alabama football to return to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This weekend, the Tide opens the season this Saturday on the road in Tallahassee. Alabama and Florida State will square off at 2:30 on ABC in Doak Campbell Stadium. The first home game of the season will be Saturday, September 6th at 6:45 p.m. Be on the lookout for more game day details next week. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide Sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. And that's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online, with more than 100 degree and certificate programs. Earn your UA degree wherever you are on your schedule. Have a great week, everybody, and roll Tide!
We are back at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Glad to have you with us as we continue on for a final few moments with not only the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, but also with his starting quarterback, Ty Simpson, joining us here from Baumhauer's. A few more pictures, a few more autographs in the last couple of weeks since it became not just in the last couple of weeks, but really since the start of camp, when people know, hey, this guy's going to be very involved in the offense this year.
Yeah, a little bit. I think I blend in, though, with, like, the normal college kids.
Yeah.
You know, just, like, walking around campus. Like, you know, they might think I'm just a regular student, like a frat guy. At least that's what I want them to think, you know.
You want to think you're a frat guy.
Yeah, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I got a feeling after this weekend they're going to know who you are, Ty. The blending in is not going to be an issue. As he puts the headset back on, we've got one more question from the audience here at Baumhauer's. Go ahead, buddy. Tell us your name and give your question.
My name's Chance. I just have to ask you a question. Who's your biggest role model?
You asking me or you asking Coach?
Ty's my biggest role model.
Okay.
Yeah. Good call.
Oh, that's a great question. So, you know, I like to say my dad. Growing up, you know, him being a coach is what I want to be one day. And the way that I saw him being in his program every day, see him, you know, talk to his guys just about, one, being a Christian, you know, just giving the word to other guys has been really cool to me. Another thing is how passionate he was about football. You know, we both love the game. It kind of, you know, brought us together. But I'd like to say a guy who's outside my family is Tim Tebow. You know, I had a fat head of him growing up. You know, I loved the way that he played, how passionate he was, and you know, how outspoken he was about his faith. I thought that was really cool. And it's something that, you know, I want to be. Now that I'm on this platform now, I want people to know that, hey, I'm a Christian first, and then I'm a football player, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So,
thank you for the question. Thank you for the response, Coach. The Seminoles, we talked about them from a defensive standpoint. I think you got to ask that question. Let's talk about their offense a little bit. New quarterback. I understand the phrase from the players. I've heard Tim Keenan say this, and unfortunately he's not going to be in the game, but Tim saying, I think all disrespect will be dealt with. They've had a quarterback who's been vocal, talented young man. Give us a little bit of a scout on that side of the ball for them.
Yeah, I mean, you start with the quarterback. He can run, he can throw, does a great job, has done it at a couple different places, reuniting with Coach Malzahn, so knows their system, you know, going to put pressure on you. There's no question. You got to do a good job in the pass rush lanes, not letting him get free, and, you know, he's going to be a part of their run game. And, you know, across the board, they got a running back that they brought in, you know, transfers really across the board, multiple receivers, one from Tennessee, one from USC. They have one that was there, they brought a tight end, kind of slot receiver type guy from Central Florida who was with Coach Malzahn there. I'm sure he's going to be a featured guy. We expect that. And then across the front, 4 of the starting 5 offensive linemen are all brand new transfers. Really, they're all redshirt seniors. And so they have a very veteran group, maybe not playing together because this is their first game together. But they have a lot of experience, a lot of starts, a lot of guys with 20-plus starts, you know, that are coming and transferring in. So, you know, a lot of veteran guys, and a lot of new faces. But for us, it's just a matter of making sure we understand the pictures we see and doing a good job of defending and doing our job.
Coach, the final word from you is presented by McMurray Van and Car Rental. We're down to our last minute and a half with you. Give us, if you would, a final thought as we go into the first game of the 2025 season.
It's time. It's time. And we've been waiting for this for a long time. And, the guys, I'm proud of the way they've gone about the business, just focusing on them, focusing on their job, and trying to be the best they can be every single day. But now it's time to go play someone else and see exactly where we're at. And, the start of a journey, but we're really focused just in the moment and looking forward to Saturday.
Coach, thank you. Ty Simpson, thank you. Best of luck to you both and all of the Crimson Tide this weekend. We look forward to seeing you in Tallahassee.
You bet.
Appreciate
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Coach Kalen DeBoer and Ty Simpson joining us here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. The program brought to you by Alfa Insurance, Auto, Home, Life, Business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. We come back to wrap it up right after this on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
There is so much energy in this building.
The environment at Bryant-Denny Stadium is best in college football right now. They have figured it out.
This place is rocking right now at Bryant-Denny. Alabama comes out a winner.
Hey, all you Crimson Tide fans. Here's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online. Earn your degree with flexible online classes and 24/7 tech support. Alabama volleyball is back. The Tide has their first set of home matches this weekend for the Crimson Tide Invitational. On Friday, the team will play UNC Asheville at 12:30, followed by a matchup with Jacksonville at 7. They'll close out the back-to-school bash weekend on Saturday, playing UAB at 3 o'clock. Alabama soccer has a home match this Friday against Mercer. The match will start at 7, so be sure to bring the energy. Remember, entry is always free. It's almost time for Alabama football to return to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This weekend, the Tide opens the season this Saturday on the road in Tallahassee. Alabama and Florida State will square off at 2:30 on ABC in Doak Campbell Stadium. The first home game of the season will be Saturday, September 6th at 6:45 p.m. Be on the lookout for more game day details next week. Students, make sure you sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Tide Sports all season long. You can join through your MyBama account. Sign up today. And that's what's happening this week at Alabama, presented by UA Online, with more than 100 degree and certificate programs. Earn your UA degree wherever you are on your schedule. Have a great week, everybody, and roll Tide!
Sports Network is Jim Carabin. Our studio engineer has been Jerry Kelly. For Tom Stipe and the rest of our Crimson Tide Sports Network crew, I'm Chris Stewart. Thanks for joining us. Roll Tide and good night from Baumhauer's Victory Grill.